Hello, my dear students of grade 5. Today we will complete our lesson which we was talking about, which is called the light. Now, last time we discussed that energy is the ability to do work. Energy is the ability to do what? To do work. Now, that we have the light, we have properties of light. The properties of light. I have 5 main properties of light. Now, the first property of light, that light travels in straight line. Light travels in what? In a straight line. Now we will take each property from these 5 properties and we will discuss in details. But I want you now to know the headlines for the 5 properties. So number 1, light travels in what? Light travels in straight line. Number 2, the property, light separates and light reflects and refract, and light transmit through different material. Don't worry, we will take each one and discuss in details. And we will begin today our lesson with the first property, that light travels in straight line. Light travels in what? In straight line. Now, I want to prove that light travels in straight line. I want something to tell me that the light really travels in a straight line. Now we will take an experiment. Number 1, here this experiment I put 3 wooden screens. I have 3 wooden screens, the same like this. The same like this. I have here 3 wooden screens. I have here what? 3 wooden screens. And then what I will do in these 3 wooden screens, I will put an arrow hole in these 3 wooden screens. And then I will put a flame or a candle. And then I will see. Now, I can't see the flame of the candle. So again, I will put 3 wooden screens in a row where all the holes of the screen are and the flame of the candle are in one straight line. I will make the 3 holes and the flame of the candle are on one straight line. What I will observe, that I can see the flame of the candle from these 3 holes that are on the same line, straight line with the candle, so I can see the flame of the candle. So now, again, I will repeat again. I have here 3 wooden screens, and then I get and put a candle at the end. Imagine that this is a candle at the end, okay? And I want to see the flame of the candle. Now I can see the flame of the candle, but imagine with me that I move any of these screens. Let me move any of these screens to the right or left. I move this screen to the right or left like this. So what I will notice, that I cannot see the flame of the candle. Why? Because the light travels in straight line. Light travels in what? Light travels in straight line. So when the candle are in the same straight line with the holes, I can see the flame of the candle. But when I move one of the wooden screens, if I move one of the wooden screens, I cannot see the flame of the candle. Why? Because our conclusion that light travels in straight line. Light travels in what? Light travels in straight line. So I will repeat this experiment again. This is an experiment to prove that light travels in straight line. Now I bring 3 wooden screens and make a hole in these 3 wooden screens, and I put a candle so that the flame of the candle are on the same straight line of the 3 holes. What I will notice that I can see the flame of the candle. But if I move any one of these wooden screens, I cannot see the flame of the candle. So this is an experiment to prove that light travels in straight line. Now, I have another experiment. Now, as a result of traveling the light in straight line, some phenomena might happen. I have some phenomena because of the light travels in straight line. What is this phenomena? Formation of image through narrow holes. Formation of what? Of image through narrow hole. What's the meaning of this? Let us discuss this experiment. Now, I have here a wooden box. He said, remove one side of the carton box. Let us see this carton box that I made. This is a carton box. I remove one side from the carton box and then place it with a piece of a semi-transparent paper. I put here a semi-transparent paper. Means it's not that clear. It is a semi-transparent. It is a semi-transparent. Like this, if you can see here, you can see my hands, you can see my fingers. This is a semi-transparent paper. This is what? A semi-transparent paper. So I bring my box and I remove one of its edges and one of its side and place it with a semi-transparent paper. Now, make another hole in the opposite side. Now I bring this pen. Now I bring any pens and I make another hole in the opposite side of the semi-transparent paper by using what? By using a pen. Now what happened? Dark the room. I will dark the room and then put a light candle in front of the narrow hole. I will put a candle in front of the narrow hole. The same like this picture. What I will notice when I put the candle in front of the narrow hole, imagine that this flame is a candle. I will imagine that this flame of the candle. What I will notice if I put this flame, I will see what? I will see a minimized and inverted image for the candle flame. Now, this candle flame, I will see it in the opposite side of the semi-transparent paper, minimized and inverted image. So, formation of image through the narrow hole is due to the traveling of light in straight line. Now, some students might ask me, why, teacher, that the candle became inverted? Now, imagine with me, if the light, because of the light, travel in straight line, here rays coming from here and here and here. So the image became inverted. But you know, if the image became upright, that means that this light became here and moved in a zigzag shape. And move in a what? Zigzag shape. This is because the image became inverted. Because what? Because light traveled in a straight line. Now, I will repeat this experiment again. I have here a box. I remove one side of a box and put a semi-transparent paper. Like this, you can see here my finger. This is a semi-transparent paper. And then I make a hole. I put here a hole by using a pen. I put here a hole in the opposite side of the semi-transparent paper. I put a hole in the opposite side of the semi-transparent paper. What I will notice, and then I light a candle flame. I imagine that this is a candle flame. I light the candle flame. What I will notice, the same like this picture. The candle is minimized, the flame of the candle is minimized and inverted. So, formation of image through narrow hole is due to what? Is due to that light travels in straight line. Due to what? Due to that light travels in straight line. Why does that the image became inverted and minimized? Because if the image came upright, in upright position, that means that the flame candle came here and then became upright. So it traveled in zigzag. And this is not correct. Because of the light travel in what? In a straight line. In what? In a straight line. So, here is a phenomenon because of the light traveling in straight line. What is this phenomenon? Formation of images through narrow hole. Formation of image through what? Through a narrow hole. Now, formation of shadow. Formation of what? Formation of shadow. It's the evidence that light travels in straight line. The same like this picture. Now, when you dark the room and put your hand between a wall and a torch. Now, let me do this with you. Here I have a torch. This is a torch, and I dark the room and put my hands, you can see, put my hands between the torch and the wall. What you can see here, formation of shadow. Formation of what? Formation of shadow is formed on the wall. Here you can see the shadow of my hands. Yes, you can see the shadow of my hand. No, the near the object. Now, let me see you this. If I came near to the source of light, the shadow becomes bigger. And if I move far from the source of light, the shadow becomes smaller. So, formation of shadow. If I bring a source of light like the torch and put my hand between the source of light and the wall, you will see what? You will see that there is a shadow from my hands. If I get near to the source of light, the shadow became bigger. If I came far from the source of light, the shadow becomes what? The shadow became smaller. So, formation of shadow. It's the evidence that light travels through straight line. Another experiment to prove that light travels in a straight line. When you dark the room, I dark the room, I put my hands between a torch and the wall, then what I will notice, shadow is formed. So shadow, it's the darkened area. This is a very important definition. Shadow is the darkened area which formed as a result of what? As a result of the falling of light on an opaque object. The light falls on my hand, which is an opaque object. What's meant by opaque? Opaque means it does not allow the light to pass through it. Now, we said the nearer the object to the light source, the bigger the shadow. And the far the object from the light source, as this here, we see, as I became near to the light source, the shadow became smaller. As I move far from the light source, the shadow became smaller. So this is another evidence to prove that light travels in a straight line. The same like this image. Here I put a torch and I put an object. What I will notice that here is a shadow formed. When I move near to the source of light, the shadow becomes bigger. As I move far from the source of light, the shadow becomes smaller. Now, this is a note. Laser is a light beam that travels long distance without fainting. Without what? Without fainting. Now we use this pen, laser. Now, can you see this red point? If I move it far, does this point become not clear? No, this point is clear. So the laser, what is the laser? The laser is a beam that travels long distance. If here there was a student and I move it far, this laser, the laser does not become faint anymore. Means the color does not decrease. The intensity of the color does not decrease. So the laser is a light beam that travels through a long distance without fainting. What's meant by fainting? Fainting means the color intensity does not decrease. Laser light are used in communication. I can communicate, and in medicine and in computers. So what is the laser? Laser is the light energy that can, a beam of light that can travel to the long distance. Here the laser can travel to the long distance without being fainting. Without what? Without being fainting. Now, Al-Hassan ibn al-Haytham was the first Arabic scientist to discover and to explain how we can see the object by falling of a light beam and reflecting. This we will discuss later in the next lesson. So, as a previous review, Now, we said that the first property of light that we discussed, that light travels in what? In a straight line. And this experiment to prove that light travels in a straight line. Also, I have phenomena due to the traveling of light in straight line. This phenomena, the formation of image through narrow hole. Pay attention with me. The image is what? Minimized and inverted. This is very important. And also the formation of shadow. This is another proof that light travels in a straight line. And laser beam. Now, I will ask you a question, an evaluation question. The image that is formed through the narrow hole, the same like this box, and the candle flame that is in front of this narrow hole, the image that is formed is what? And what? Is minimized and inverted. Is what? Minimized and inverted. This is the answer for the evaluation question. And here's your homework question. Shadow of an opaque body is formed when the light falls on it. Why the shadow of an opaque body is formed when the light falls on it? Because what? Because light travels in what? This is your homework question. And thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the lesson.